Because it could be a compliment to the one on Lee Street. In there. And then it's sort of like you're renting a mansion that used to be in Piedmont and Ponce de Leon. It's like that. It'll be a big restaurant, a favorite of all clientele. And there's one in Social Circle, similar to what she's planning to do. So it would favor all types of people, okay? I'm in favor of that.
Okay, last call for those in favor. Anybody else in favor? Okay, now not in favor.
Good evening, my name is Jocelyn Williams. Purchased a house back in 1992 here in Stockbridge at 190 Thanks Drive. I'm in opposition to this particular restaurant. I'm sure the people who've spoken before me have spoken highly of it. I'm a teacher. I live in Stockbridge, but I work in Atlanta. I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning. Traffic is very, very difficult. The place where the young lady is building her restaurant, I'm against it because when I go and get gas at the BP gas station at North Henry Boulevard and Flippin Road, trying to get out and be smiling and courteous to the drivers, they won't let me out. And a lot of times I spend 5 to 10 minutes just trying to get out. Coming home in the afternoon, there is a stop sign that I have to wait at. I'm not allowed to turn left, and I can only turn right because of the traffic congestion. I called Kenny Mars in the Department of Transportation, and just like she was excited, I said, well, maybe they're going to do a stop light in the area or widen the road. When you come around on Old Atlanta Road, you can't even see the cars. If I was coming out of the driveway of the restaurant, I wouldn't be able to see how to turn to get in traffic because what's in front of me is a barrier of trees. Once again, I know Stockbridge is growing and it needs a lot of things in this area, but I'm adamantly against this position of the restaurant because of the location and the traffic and being able to be trapped in traffic. As the gentleman had said, it's a beautiful restaurant. That means it's going to be packed, and then it will mess up the area of me trying to go to different places like Walmart or CVS to get medications and different things that I need. Thank you.
Next, not in favor. Don't be shy. Don't get your turn.
Good evening. My name is Milton Myers, and I live directly behind this property. We've lived there for the past 10 years, and it's a great, great neighborhood. And I love a good restaurant as much as anyone, but I just don't want one directly in my backyard as we face this directly. And I have several reasons. I'm against having a busy, noisy restaurant in my backyard facing the bedroom window, and if alcohol happens to be involved, that presents additional problems. Against having a busy parking lot in our backyard facing our bedroom window. Again, the traffic situation there is terrible, and it's been mentioned. And if there was a restaurant there, I'm sure they would have to have a large green, one of those large green trash containers there, and I'm sure that would create smells and flies and roaches that we've already got enough of those to deal with. And this past year they cut down most of the trees already separating our two properties, which has raised the visual and noise to disturbing levels whenever things are going over there. Just like having it right in our backyard. My wife and I go to bed early, wake up early, and go to work, and I'm presently dealing with my own heart and health issues and don't need any further disturbances to deal with. So this, like I said, I'm I love a good restaurant as much as anyone, but I just don't want having one directly in my backyard. And I just wish to keep the neighborhood as peaceful as it is right now. Thank you.
You said, you live there on that Iron Horse?
Yes.
That cul-de-sac? You're in that cul-de-sac right behind you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Next, not in favor.
My name is Mike Maddox, and I live at 111 Footman Road, which is directly to the left of the property we're talking about. I've been living there since 1981 when I got out of the military. My wife and I and family, we saw a small community. We've been supportive of this community, this city the whole time. Love everything about it. Love the way we're growing. But this one particular instance here, we're opposed to it, very much so. And I have several reasons. Some have already been mentioned. If you'll bear with me, I'll run through them quickly. We have the existing drive that's already on Old Atlanta, and we have one that's on Footman Road. They're proposing to put a new one in between my house and their property, in between a driveway and farm. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they stated 52-car parking lot. That's too much traffic living next to me, my opinion, my family, my daughter.
Sorry, I'm going to go ahead.
So noise is a large factor, not only during the daytime, but at nighttime. My understanding was when this was rezoned to O&I, my understanding was that the daytime business and the weekend business. I had gotten with Jordan Stacy, who was checking in on that for me, and apparently there was nothing in the minutes about that. Unfortunately, at the time, I was naive and I didn't actually go to the meetings and find out these things. I was under the assumption the person that I was dealing with would take care of that and have these things issued. So that cannot be changed at this point in time. I understand that. So I'm willing to live with whatever they can do with the O&I zoning. But if we change to a C2 zoning, there's a lot of new things that come into play. The nighttime business is a big concern of mine because I have a special needs child who lives with me, and her bedroom is directly adjacent to this property. So privacy is an issue. I brought this up at the Henry County level meeting, which I went to twice, and I asked about alcohol sales. Are we going to have alcohol sales? To this point, I do not have an exact answer on that. But if we do have alcohol sales at this establishment, that is a big concern of mine. The other concern that I had was hours of operation, which I still do not have at this point in time. If we have hours of operation, what are they going to be? And if we have alcohol sales, if we stay open late, we all know that alcohol, sometimes folks get a little bit loud. That's something I, as a resident of the common city of Stockbridge, did not intend to be part of. Okay. So privacy. Traffic on Footman Road, everybody knows. It's terrible. I live there, I know. We can't even make a left-hand turn out the driveways between the hours of 3 to 7 o'clock, even 8 o'clock. So traffic is a big concern. I think this will just add security with this parking lot, this drive-through that they're proposing to build. To me, it would just be a cut-through from Old Atlanta over to Footman Road. That's a concern of mine as a neighbor in this particular area. My quality of life for my family is a concern for me. We spend a lot of time out there in the back. With the business over there, as large as they're proposing to put in there, and with the large parking lot, people just totally ruin it. Dumpster has been mentioned. I currently have that dumpster sitting right across my back parking lot. Right when I walk off my deck there, I see a dumpster looking. Mrs. Vivian has said she's willing to work with the neighborhood. She has never once come talk to anybody in the neighborhood that I'm aware of. And I speak strictly for myself, but I know most of the neighbors and them, of course, that opinion. So one of my questions is, if she's willing to work with the neighborhood, how come she hasn't talked to anybody? That's the question I have. If we do change this rezoning, if we know restaurants, I'm not saying this one will or will not, if it was to come about. Once the rezoning has been done, if I'm correct in understanding this, that leaves that property with a vast amount of things that could be done there, to include another gas station. And that's another thing I would not like to ask my house. Correct me if I'm wrong. my understanding. That pretty much covers my main concern about it, and I would appreciate the council's consideration when they make a vote on this. Glad to answer any questions. You know, any of you are willing to, or would like to see the property, come right out and see it any time. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. I'm Reggie Balfour. I live at 108 Cleveland Road, which is almost directly across from the property the two biggest management was wanting to put in a restaurant. My concern, one, is if it's a restaurant, if it fails, then what will go in there? She frequently alluded to the reform. Restaurants don't pay very good salaries. If we have constant turnover of employees, there again, that's going to be more traffic than coming in and going out. Not just customers. I understand they live in another city in the county. I wonder if they would want, or any of you would want for business in your driveway. And especially a driveway coming in almost opposite from your driveway. We had a nice sit-down restaurant in McDonald's Creek. It didn't last for 2 or 3 years. I just don't think that is a proper place for a restaurant. Not because it's some money in front of mine, but that has been a quiet residential street since Stockbridge was unseated. Why would anybody want to disrupt citizens' residences on the happy, peaceful street? The only thing that we don't like is the traffic, but that's everywhere. We just have to go in and there. But why ask for more? Especially at night. Okay. And like I said, old folks have lived there for quite some time. We were happy, they've been on a peaceful street. We don't want a restaurant in our front door. I mentioned the income, and as far as taxes, I don't know what kind of exemptions they would get, but well, that's up to the city of Stockbridge to decide. And like I did on the Pappas driveway, another one being cut, one driveway going in there off Pickett Road. There's another driveway coming in there off of Old Atlanta Road, going right up to the back of the property, which would be ideal for coming in. And then use the other for going out. I'm not even planning and zoning, I'm not in her planning of how to reconstruction anything. At one time, they was proposing to build an extension on the side of the house, although they indicated what a beautiful house the structure was. And if they go in there and build a big room out on the side of that house, that's certainly not going to improve the looks of it, and it's far from being blue willow in social circles. Even the house itself is it is not. And there is no other track, no other business on Pickett Road. The BP and the telephone company, they're on down by the block from us, and that don't increase any traffic, it's just general traffic coming from all directions. And then there'll be the lights at night time. And so notice when that subdivision was built back in about 1960s, they were small houses. Now, the house that she's referring to, it was there for many, many years. A big house. It sits up big, got lots of steps going up to the front. But anyway, it's just going to be too much traffic, it's going to be too much noise, and it's going to be too much lights flashing in and out of my front of my house. Okay. And again, I say, did you want this in your front yard? There's a big building up there on 42 Highway, which is Ryan's, it's it's empty. I'm sure some of them might be really bad. But anyway, that's about covers it. I think my presentation for tonight. But people, you are human flesh and blood, just as we are, different. really want you to search your heart. And it's like, when I go there and I'm front door, regardless of taxes, money's not everything. How long has the city of Stockbridge been here that it survived without one more restaurant or one more business? And I don't think she'll ever be allowed to put a goat farm in the backyard, which has been mentioned, or a trade farm. But now, you know, we can be threatened in various ways, and I don't think that has a trait. I'm Park Property, and it's been a nice, quiet business over there for all these years. I just wish that the city to continue as such and keep us a happy neighborhood. Thank you for your time and your attention, and may God bless each and every one of us, everybody here this night. And thank you all.
Thank you. We have someone else. Was there some more who wanted to speak? Going twice. Going thrice. Okay. Thank you. The next time, resolutions, agreements, and orders, we already did that, but on there. For y'all's correct, I forgot to, item number 6 on the front of one there was presented by Belinda Gears, Henry Community Garden presentation. He asked if that would be removed here, and that you were maybe for that we have to remove that from the agenda.
So moved.
Yes, second. All in favor? Number 7 is presented by Don Lamp, Boys and Girls Club, the use of the old fire station as Boys and Girls location.
Mayor, City Council, I believe Chief Moore has actually been here before you guys before and talked some about why the Boys and Girls Club steering committee thought that Stockbridge would be the appropriate venue for us to start here in the county. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but you guys know that most of them are teachers, Captain High School across the field, and kids that are not engaged when school's not in session, after school, typically will find things to occupy their times, and sometimes are not the best things. So one of the things that we as the steering committee for the Girls Club think is based on what we've seen with the way people occupy their time when it's not in something structured and wholesome, is that bad things happen. Some of our students end up getting, we don't use the common, that's what it is. So that being the case, we wanted to come back to you and say, we have our steering committee, we've talked with the national organization, they've got on board with us, and they want to know, okay, where are you going to do this? You know Stockbridge is in need. Now, where in Stockbridge are you going to serve these youth? And what we propose to the City Council is that the fire station that is going to be vacant as soon as the bridge is built and moved into their new dig, that we be allowed to lease that property from the city for 5 years at $1 a year lease. And we would further propose that the city pay the utilities on that property as they have been, making a graduated portions of the end of that 5-year period. We can then renegotiate with you. We're up and running, everything's going. That's our proposal, and I'll be happy to accept any questions.
Anybody have any questions? use that.
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to add that the former city administrator was working with us in this effort. He brought this to the boys and the girls and the steering committee attention for the use of this building. And Mr. Dunlap with that organization is just coming forward with that based on the recommendations of Mr. Gibson.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.
Next, we have council discussion items, the IT internet. There's anything on here. This is, I talked with, this is more a recommendation from Jack Bill Hills. We need to clarify the internet usage and that there is no policy, nothing explaining on there. That it would be more defined about the usage of personnel, that there are some set of expound on what we need to do to tighten it up just to make sure it's covered.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. As I understand it, the issue is making employees aware that the city has certain restrictions on their ability to use the internet and to use email, that it needs to be restricted to just city business, and that they have no privacy expectations in the use of city equipment. And I thought I had drafted or done a policy along those lines for the city, and maybe I didn't try to recall when I may have spoken with Ray or someone on that. I know Jack's had some conversations also. But it would not be a problem for us to draft a policy like that for the city to put in place in the personnel manual, so that employees know when they're granted the use of city IT equipment that is to be used for a city purpose, and that they can't expect to have private usage that the city can't discover. And that's important should any claims be filed in the future by employees, that they have that knowledge up front. So I believe that's the basic issue, and again, we'd be happy to work on that sort of policy for the city.
Any guys more? We don't have a policy. You said we don't have a policy now.
I know the city doesn't have one that's actually part of the manual. I know the city's also redrafting its personnel policy manual, and we have a copy of the new draft that does contain these provisions. So if we were to pass that new policy manual and enact it, that would satisfy this issue. The question is whether or not the city wants to do something now in the interim. And the policy manual is something we could do in 2-3 weeks. We get to go ahead from Dawn in the city.
Personnel policy. If we spell that in there, where we stand on, getting that personnel policy.
I have the manual, the proposed manual. I know that it has been drafted by Mr. Harry Owens, who I think is the outside consultant. I know Mr. Owens, he's very good. Worked with him for a long time in the past in Gwinnett County. And what we need to do at this point is to review it from a legal perspective to make sure that legally it lines up. And I'm going to have to defer to Jack, because I know he may have engaged in some discussions with Ray about how we were to go about doing that. And so I'm going to write myself a reminder to touch base with him, because we can move forward with it at any time. And I would assume it would take no more than 2-3 weeks for us to review it and give it a rubber stamp.
Okay. Any other questions?
Mr. Mayor, I concur with what council is saying, and the new policy would solve the problem. I think I guess our council's step back and let the new city administrator come in and maybe be a part of that as well. But I don't want to slow down on saying, say stop any of the procedures, but certainly I think our personnel policy, any of those changes, we need to involve our future city administrator and bring that forward as well.
One that's in the personnel policy, what's his name again? I remember who it was. Jack.
The new version,
They got it looked at. That's the standard, it's basically standard across the states, generally looked at.
yeah, his name's Harry Owens. He's been the personnel director for the State Department of Transportation, Athens, Clark County, and Gwinnett County, and he's very, very experienced.
He's tough, let's have taken that. That's what we're going to do. Okay, next item is communication between city attorney staff and elected officials. I've been asking this, and Jack told me we need to bring this up. Mark, you remember when we went, I think it was our first class with, for law class with John Dickerson. We came back from there, and Mr. Dickerson's recommendation was the way he said he did his. I realize each city does theirs differently. But the communications, for example, anybody that contacts the city attorney does not work for any individual council member or staff member. He works for the city. Any communications with the, when he said he did, and if it weren't correct, wrong, but anybody that communicated with him, he would turn around and broadcast or email it to all the others. I'm talking to Joe about all this. Whatever he's replying back, he shotgunned it all back to them. The way I understood it would be a